All right. All ladies with us today. So, all right, ladies, have a seat. Make sure you're comfortable. And I always start class with seated mountain pose, seated Tadasana. It's just proper posture of how you should sit at any point in time when you're in a chair. So, you're going to look down and check your feet out. Okay. A lot of times when we sit, we've got like 1 foot back or 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So you want to make sure that if there were an imaginary line going across your toes, that your feet would cross that line at the same spot on each foot. Toes are pointing forward. Good. You're going to lift your toes up, spread them really wide. So you're trying to spread them so wide that maybe you can feel a little bit of stretch in the webbing in between the toes themselves. And then you're going to press your heels down. And when you do that, I want you to feel engagement here in the quadriceps, in the front of the leg. And then you're going to keep pressing those heels down and gently let the toes come back to the floor. So a lot of times what happens is that pressing of the heels goes away, press again. Good. And then you're going to find your default. So what I mean by default is you are typically one of two people. You're someone who leans forward, like myself, or you are someone who rounds your back and you kind of lean back. Okay. Notice the default and then come out of it. You're going to rock forward and back here on your pelvis. And what you're looking for is neutral. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back, but instead I'm right in the center of those sits bones, those bony points in the glutes. Good. When you find it, you stick it. You press the heels again. And then just let your belly come in, let it lift all the way up. Beautiful. Yep, I saw that, Peggy. Roll those shoulders back. Good. Elbows come in. And then the palms are on the thighs. We're also typically, some of us like to kind of jut our chin forward. Some of us like to jut it up, right? So you're going to draw it down and in. So you feel some length in the back of the neck. And then close your eyes. And we'll start with our 3 cleansing breaths. So 3 times breathing in through the nose. We're going to open the mouth and just sigh really deeply out through the mouth. And take your time with those sighs. Remember, you're on mute. You can do them as loud as you want to. And after you take those sighs, if you're not there yet, take your time. You're going to start to let the breath just move in and out through the nose. Maybe you take just a quick little mental assessment of that seated mountain pose, right? Are the heels still pressing? Are you inching your way back into your default, or are you still in the center? Keep the shoulders back the neck long. And we are going to go back to that nasal cycle. Been bringing this up a lot, but it's kind of cool to pay attention to. So you have what's called a nasal cycle. And what that means is that there is one nostril that is dominant. And every 2 to 3 hours, this nasal cycle switches to the other nostril. And what I mean by dominant is there is one nostril that's taking in a little bit more air on the inhalation. And so you're just going to notice that right now as you're breathing in slowly and deeply. Right, which nostril is taking in more air, more breath, and it's extremely subtle. But it's kind of neat how once you start to center yourself, how you can notice that subtlety. And it can help to bring you present in the moment, and it can help to ground you. And then here in just a moment, We'll open our eyes, but if you'd like to set an intention for the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month, you can do that at this time. Maybe an affirmation of some sort, anything that comes to mind. Just stick with the first thing that comes. There's a reason it came first. Very nice. And then slowly allow the eyes to start to flutter back open, coming back into this kind of external environment, external world. Beautiful. All right. So we are going to do heel and toe lifts, and we'll do them bilateral and then we'll do them unilateral. So for me, I want to bring my feet back like an inch or two. And you're just going to lift the heels up. And then you're slowly going to drop the heels down and try to lift the toes up off of the floor. Okay. And you can do this at your own pace. I recommend doing it slow so you can really feel what's happening. And you'll find it's probably a lot easier to lift those heels up and a little more challenging to lift the toes up. If you find that really easy on the heels, maybe you come all the way up onto the tippy toes, as long as you don't get a little foot cramp. And if you're getting your toes off of the floor, maybe you try to lift up the foot so much that the ball of the foot starts to come off of the floor, right? So what you're actually doing here is you're strengthening, when you lift the toes, you're strengthening the muscles in the front of the lower leg around the shin, which is great for when we take those walks. Good. Let's do just one more of each. Awesome. And then we're going to just do it side to side. So I call that unilateral dynamic. So you'll lift your right heel, you'll drop the heel, lift the right toes, go to the left side, lift the left heel. Good. Drop the heel, lift the left toes, and just going side to side, back and forth. Sometimes when we do it one at a time, what we realize is sometimes there's a little imbalance in flexibility or a little imbalance in strength between the right side and the left side, all of which are fine. Myrna, you got me with a yawn. Good. All right. So now we're going to let ourselves go marching. You might scoot forward just a little bit if you're back further in your chair. And you're just going to lift one knee up at a time and then lift the other knee up. Okay. If this is really hard for you, your modification is to go back to those heel lifts, right? Maybe you're just working on lifting the heel, going side to side. Otherwise, the knee is going to come up. You're going to start to feel some engagement in the abdominals. If you want even more challenge, reach the arms out to the side like a T, but don't let your chest drop. That's the key, right? So the arms come up and the knees come up, and you find that you want to like round in the chest. Keep the back strong. If your arms are lifted, maybe you draw the shoulder blades towards the spine just a little bit. Got it. Awesome. Release the arms down if they are up. You're going to bring your right knee in. You can hold underneath your thigh, right? If you're able to grab around the shin and bring the leg closer in, do that. And then you're going to roll the ankle out in circles. And reverse that circle. Other direction. Beautiful. Bring it slowly back down. Of course, go to the other side. So grabbing behind the thigh or around the shin, totally up to you. And then roll the ankle out in some circles. And reverse it, other direction. And release that down. All righty. So still kind of a little more forward in your chair here. We're going to start on the right leg. You're going to straighten your right leg. So for me, my thigh gets kind of caught in the front of the seat. So I bring myself even further forward. You can do that if that feels okay. I want you to keep your chest open, all right? Back engaged. And you're just going to drag your right foot out to the side. And then you're going to drag the foot back, right? So if you've got hip issues, like you might just go out to the side a little tiny bit. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go to what your range of motion is. You want a little bit more challenge on the core. You're reaching those arms out to the side. Got it. And then if you want a little bit more, you might lift the leg, bring it out to the side, lift the leg, bring it back to front. Okay. So lots of options here. You can be dragging the foot. You can have your arms down, have your arms up. You can be lifting the foot. Just do what's good for you today. Good. Let's do one more. Beautiful. Release the arms. We're going to go to the other side. So start out on the other side, dragging like you did the first time. Straighten your left leg. And you're just going to draw that left leg out to the side and then draw it back in. So just kind of dragging the leg side to side. And remember, we all have our own range of motion for our hips. So go to the range of motion that feels best for you. And then if you want a little bit additional, you're lifting those arms up, out like a T. All right, so what we'll find is even though we're not doing much with the arms, we're having to use our shoulder muscles to keep them lifted. And then if you want even more, you might lift your foot up and then bring it back. So it's almost like you're making a rainbow position. And again, you might find one side wants to do that and the other side doesn't. Nothing wrong with that. You do what's good for you. Good. Let's do one more. And release it all the way back down. Very nice. I'm going to scoot back a little bit towards the middle of my chair and we'll come right into cat cows. So those of you who know cat cows in the chair, you can go ahead and start. I will show you can stay forward facing, but cat cows in the chair, I like to have you start at the tailbone, the very, very bottom, and you are going to exhale. You're going to bring that tailbone forward. Then think one vertebra at a time. You're rounding your low back, your middle back, your upper back, and then you're going to let your head drop at the very end of that exhale. And then as you inhale, you reverse it. You start with the tailbone, lift the tailbone, arch the low back, the middle back, the upper back, and lift the head. So you're just kind of moving through your own breath, your own pace here. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, what their pace is. Right? We all breathe a little differently. And our breath is also constantly changing. So let's do one more full breath. So an inhale and an exhale, meaning a cat and a cow. And after you finish that full breath, we'll just meet in center. Take your time. See Carolyn popping on, so we'll let her in. Let her join the fun. Very good. All right, and then we're going right into barrel rolls. Good to see you. All right, so barrel rolls, you're just rolling the torso, okay? So I like to say if you can think of initiating these circles with your belly button or with your waist, not so much the shoulders. Right? Try to do that. So the shoulders are going to move. You're going to move a little side to side on your hips, but the movement is initiated fully in the area of the waist. Good. Reverse it other direction. These are so good for tight backs. Awesome. All righty. Let yourself come all the way back to center. All righty. We are going to do 2 more things, and then we're going to stand up. All right. So, first option is for you to come to this where you just lift your heel. Second option is for you to lift the leg. Third option is for you to straighten the leg, and then you're just going to bring it down. Okay. So, we're going to do this kind of like dynamically, but staying on one side. So if you're just doing the heel, you're going up and down with the heel. If you're lifting the knee, you're going up and down with the knee. If you're straightening the leg, you lift the knee, straighten the leg, bend the knee, drop it down, right? And just stay on this one side. Good. If that feels good and easy, you might even reach your arms out to the side to give you a little additional challenge. Right? So we're just staying on that right leg. Modifying is lifting the heel or just lifting the knee instead of straightening the leg. Good. Awesome. We'll do one more. Usually doesn't take too many until we start to feel that quad really engage and work, and then we'll go to the other side. So you can drop your arms if you like, you can keep them lifted. So maybe you're lifting your heel up and down. That's kind of step 1. You want more, maybe you're lifting your knee up and down, right? Step 2. If you want more, the knee comes up, you straighten the leg, you bend the knee, you drop it back down, okay? If your arms were up on the other side, you might find the shoulders getting tired, right? You can come down, place your hands on your hips at any point. Good. That's what I love about this class. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, right? Lots of modifications for you, lots of options. I like to say options better than modifications. Good. All right, so for my count, I'm doing this one and I'm doing one more after this. Good. Love it. All righty, drop those arms. If they're lifted, come right into a pigeon pose on the right side. So right ankle is crossing over the left knee. Good. Flex the foot, right? So you can stay upright like this. We haven't really worked our hips a whole lot. If you do want more stretch, you're welcome to lean forward a little bit. That's going to increase that stretch you feel in that right hip a lot. Good. And we're just going to be here not too long. About 5 more seconds. Love it. All right, bring it on up and switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee. All right, you're going to flex that foot. Lift the chest. You can stay upright. You can lean over if you like. Totally up to you. We're going to do pigeon pose again at the very end, and we're going to work our hips a good amount when we stand up. So hopefully you'll find that pigeon pose at the end is a little bit easier than it is right now. Good. Five more seconds. And release on out of that. Awesome. Come on up to stand. And we're just going to take some hip circles. Right? Pretend you got a hula hoop. You're hula hooping it out. Yep. Grab some water. Always, always, always grab water. Transitioning from sitting to standing, standing to sitting. Always a good time to do that. I like the shirt, Born This Way. Very nice. Great. All righty. All right. So coming into those Little hip circles, right? Really focus on the hips going back and the chest coming forward, and you'll get this really good stretch in the back of the legs. Those of us that are doing lots of walking and moving around, that stretch can feel really good in the back of the thighs. Good. And reverse it, other direction. Of course. Perfect. All righty. Release out of that. You are actually going to come behind your chair. We will get to sun salutations, but not quite yet. So you're going to come behind your chair. You may use it, you may not, but you don't know until you start it. All right. And you're going to bring your feet pretty wide. So we're going to do dynamic goddess variations. And the first part you're going to do is just the arms. All right. So you're going to take your arms out to the side. Good, like a field goal. Awesome. You're going to inhale, you're going to reach those arms up. You're going to exhale, just bring them back to that starting position. Good. So you inhale and you reach it up, and you exhale and you bring it back to that starting position. Now, when you're inhaling, I also want you to press your feet down, really squeeze the muscles in your legs. And then when you exhale, let the legs relax. Good. So you're inhaling, you're pressing those feet down, you're squeezing the muscles of the legs. And you exhale and you let those legs relax. Good. We'll do two more just like that. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you come back to that starting position. Great. One more. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you bring it back to that starting position. Okay, so take your hands on the back of the chair. All right. This is a little bit of squatting. So I will say if that doesn't feel good on your knees, just go back and start doing the arm part. Okay, fine. But your feet are going to be pointed out just a little bit. When you bend your knees, you want to make sure that the knee is pointed to the second and third toe. So you want to be able to see your big toe always. So anytime you're ready, you're going to exhale. You're going to bend the knees. You're going to inhale, press the feet down, squeeze the muscles of the legs, just like you practiced a moment ago. So you exhale and you bend those knees. You squat down as far as you want to. And then you press the feet down, you squeeze the muscles, squeeze the glutes, the thighs, the calves, all of them. And you're just doing this at your own pace, right? So I'm up here just, I'm not taking deep breaths like you are, okay? I just kind of know the pace, but follow your breath. That's important. Good. I'm gonna do one more here. Awesome. Now you have the option to do either the arms or the legs or both together. Okay. If you feel sturdy, you feel like you don't need the chair, try both together. All right. So arms are up, legs are straight and strong. I'm going to move this chair actually so you can see a little bit better. Right. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to bend the elbows. Goddess. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to press my feet down, squeeze the muscles of my legs, reach up. So your breath, your pace. If you try doing this and you want to do just one or the other, do it. Good. And we're going to do one more of these. And inhale, reach it on up. And then let the arms come down. Beautiful. So stay behind your chair. And you are going to come to the right a little bit here. And your left leg is going to bend. Both legs are going to bend, actually. Okay. You're going to put your weight on your left leg, right arm's coming onto the right hip. And we're just going to slide that foot out, and you're going to slide it back in. Okay, I'm going to scoot over just a little. So my left knee has a little micro bend in it. I'm sliding my right leg out. I'm sliding it back in. So although we're thinking that this right leg is the one we're working, which we are, the left leg is going to work a lot as well. Okay. If you don't want the support of the chair, you can take both hands onto your hips. You can reach your arms out. I find that helps a little better with balance, right? Or you can keep your hand on the support of that chair. Good. We're going to do one more like this. Stand up nice and straight. Good. Take your right leg out in front of you now, and you're going to roll it onto the pinky toe side. So that's called external rotation of the hip. Little micro bend in the left knee, right hand on the right hip, and you're going to lift it up. Knee's going to be bent, which is fine, and you're going to slowly bring it back down, right? You might lift up an inch, then work there, right? You might lift up higher. It doesn't matter how high you're lifting up, as long as you're trying. Good. Beautiful, guys. Ladies, I shall say. Good. Doing one more. And then we're just going to bring it on over to the other side. So now I'm going to come to the left side of my chair. Okay, so a little micro bend in both knees. Right leg is the one that you're going to be standing on. Right hand on the chair, left hand on the hip. Kind of start there. Slide that left leg out to the side. Bring it on back. All right, so you're sliding it out and you're bringing it back. So we're working, right, these muscles that have to work really hard to hold us up, to let us walk, to let us stand, right? If you don't want the support of the chair and you want a lot more challenge on balance, maybe you reach the arms out to the side. Maybe you put your hands on your hips. For me, hands on the hips is the hardest, but kind of play around and see what's best for you, where you want to be. Good. Two more for my count at least. Awesome. Everyone looks so good. Stand up, right? Let that kind of release a little bit. And then we're going to come right into that front leg lifting. So the left leg comes out in front. You're going to roll onto that pinky toe side. So you got that external rotation. The knee's going to be bent. Okay. And then you're just going to lift that leg up, however far it goes, slowly bring it back down. So important here is you're not fast, right? Try to do this really slow and you'll find you start to work different muscles when you slow it down a bit. This is getting into that inner thigh area. Good. Two more. Wonderful. All righty. From here, we're going to go back onto the right side and we're going to do a tree pose, then sun salutations. All righty. So if I'm on the right side of my chair, my left leg's my standing leg. Right. My right leg comes either to kickstand, so my toes are on the floor, heel comes above my left ankle, left leg is strong. So I want you to think about we were doing those goddess variations, right? And I was saying strengthen that leg, like when we're going up, squeeze the muscles. Do that with your left leg now. You can come to your calf, you can come to your inner thigh. Right hand comes to right heart, right side of the heart. Maybe you come to your fingertips on the left hand. Maybe you try your full balance with both hands at heart center, right? Try to look at something that's not moving. Don't look at the screen. One of the few times I say that. You want to reach your arms up, you can. So the more you move in this position, in any balance position, the more challenge you bring. Breathe deeper. And then slowly release yourself out the same way that you came in. Beautiful. And then we'll go to the left side and then we'll move on. All righty. So right leg strong. Again, think of the exercise we were doing, those goddesses. And I said, squeeze the muscles of your legs. Do that now with the right leg. Left leg can come kickstand. Right? Toes down, heel up. You can come to the calf. You can come to the inner thigh. Left hand's coming to the chest. And right hand is either on the chair. So these are the options. You might come to your fingertips, the right hand. You might take your hands to heart center. Okay. Breathe deeper. You might lift the arms up into the air. Know that you've got this. You're a strong tree. Strengthen that right leg, your trunk. Good. And slowly come out the way that you came in. Beautiful. All righty. So now you're going to come, we'll do our sun salutations. So you are going to position yourself in front of your chair, seat of the chair facing you. Awesome. Look down, make sure those feet are nice and level. One's not further in front of that imaginary line than the other is. And we will get started. So you're going to inhale, reach the arms up. You're going to exhale, come into a forward fold. Place your hands on the seat of the chair. Good. Bend the right knee, lift the left arm, twist. If you want to modify, you can place your left hand on your hip. Good. Bring it back to center. Switch sides. Bend the left knee, lift the right arm, twist. Good. Bring it back to center. Walk yourself back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha. Right. Down dog. You've got your hips, your knees, your ankles all in one straight line. Your back is nice and neutral. Your head is hanging, as long as that doesn't make you dizzy. And your hands or fingertips are on the seat of the chair. Big stretch. Good. Look forward. Bring your right foot forward. Bend your right knee. Warrior one. And you want to make sure your left heel comes onto the floor. So you got to kick your left toes out a little bit. You can keep your hands on the chair. You can bring to the back of the chair. You can take your hands to your hips. Right? You can reach the arms up into the air. So this one, Warrior One, which we do pretty much every class, has a lot of different options for it. Beautiful. Take those hands down, come back to down dog. It's your transition. Let the head drop, let the chest drop, reach the tailbone back. And then you come into Warrior One on the left side. Left foot comes forward, bend the left knee. Kick out the right toes, drop the right heel. And find your hand position, right? Seat of the chair, back of the chair. It gets progressively more challenging. You can come to your hips. You can reach the arms up. And you breathe. And you think of being a warrior, being strong. Beautiful. Take those hands down to the seat of the chair and then come into a forward fold. Right foot comes forward, left foot comes back a bit, back into that forward fold. So I always give two options here. You can stay in forward fold, kind of use this as a breather. If you want to come into chair pose, you're going to lift your toes up, shift your weight back into your heels, bend the knees, drop the hips, and then lift the arms out in front of you, shoulder height. Belly's in, tailbone's heavy, low belly pulls in, legs are strong. Good. So whether you're in chair pose or forward fold, inhale, rise and shine, bring it on up. And exhale, take it to the heart. Good. Adding on. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Bend the right knee. Lift the left arm, twist. Bring it back to center. Bend the left knee. Lift the right arm, twist. Good job. Bring it back to center. Walk it back. downward facing dog. In your down dog, make sure one foot is not further in front of the other. Just kind of check that out. Let your head drop. Good. Bring your right foot forward, warrior one. Bend the right knee. If you want a little more challenge, step your left foot back a bit. And maybe bend the right knee a little deeper. Okay, and then determine where you want your hands, your arms. Beautiful. Take the hands down, bring it back, downward facing dog. Just as your transition. Good. Switch sides. The left leg comes forward. Warrior one. Bend the left knee. If you want more challenge, reach that right foot back a little bit. And maybe you bend the left knee deeper. Good. You can keep your hands on the chair and put them on the hips. You can lift them into the air. Awesome. Go ahead and take your hands to the seat of the chair. Bring it forward into a forward fold. So everything's been the same so far. Good. Now we're coming into our warrior three or grounded warrior. So reach your right leg behind you. So step one, toes are going to stay on the floor. Step two, you flex the foot and you're working on lifting that leg up, right? Step three, leg is up and you hold it. Now, regardless of where your leg is, you're going to bend the knee. You're going to squeeze your heel towards your glute. I want you to feel activation in the back of the thigh, the hamstring. And then you're going to straighten that leg. Right? So you bend the knee, you squeeze that heel towards the glute. Straighten that leg. Right? That right leg is strong, lots of muscle engagement. Right? My leg is shaking a little bit. That's okay. Let's do one more. And let that right leg come all the way back down. We're going to do that on the left side, of course. So option one, toes stay down. Option two, you flex the foot. You're working on lifting that left leg. Option three, left leg is up. It stays up. Good. Now squeeze the heel towards the glute. So you're bending that left knee. You're engaging the glute. You're engaging the hamstring. Legs are feeling very strong. Good. Let's do one more. And bring that left leg down. Good. Last chance for a chair pose if you want it. So lift those toes, take the weight back into the heels, drop into your chair if you want to take it. Otherwise, just stay in a forward fold. Get a little breather. Good. Very nice, ladies. Awesome. Everybody inhale, rise and shine. Bring it on up. And exhale, take it to the heart. Good, good, good. Alrighty, so have a seat in your chair. I promised another pigeon pose. I can't let you down on that. Get a little water if you want it. Good. So once we stood up, we did a lot of legs, a lot of hips. So maybe pigeon might feel a little bit different than it did in the beginning of class. Might not be hugely different, but it could be a little different. So start with that right leg, lifting up, flex the right foot, lift the chest. If you want to lean forward, by all means you can. Right? And just lean forward like so. If you lean forward and you find that your back is rounding, you can't keep the chest up, then come back up a little bit so that you maintain that stretch in that hip and the glute. 5 seconds. Sweet. Bring it all the way back up and switch sides. All right, the left leg coming across. Flex that left foot, of course. If you want to lean forward, you can. Just keep your chest up and then start to lean forward over that shin. Yeah, very nice. And again, 45 seconds on this side also. And then we will relax. All right. 5 seconds left. Awesome. And you will come on out of that. Of course, if there's any other positions, any other stretches that you need to do before you go get comfortable, please do that. Take your time, but go get comfortable. So you're going to go like lay down in your bed, or maybe you're going to lay down in a recliner. You can lay down on the floor. Really, it's just like whatever's comfortable for you.